Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live session. Welcome, welcome. Today's topic will be about the significance of when nothing is happening in your life, the significance of when nothing is happening in your life. This is what we're going to be discussing today. It's a topic that I think is really important because often we think that we get frustrated, we get burnt out, we get, I, oh, I hope everyone could hear me. It looks like it's freezing. I feel like my thing is freezing right now. I guess it'll recalibrate itself. Okay, so that is the topic. So if you have any questions or comments about anything, please let me know. This is the time to ask. This is the time to engage with me and engage with each other because I notice that we all learn from each other. And that's the wonderful thing about these live sessions is I'm learning from you just as much as I hope that you're learning from me and we're really learning from each other. So this is a community about learning from each other. It's not a community about me. It's a community about learning from each other, so that we can all manifest a better for life in the future by changing our internal world, and then our external world will change. Hi, Courtney Gee. Should I say, oh, I'm freezing? Okay. Sorry. Good day, Heidi. Okay, I hope it's resumed now. I hope it's resumed now. My connection is probably not the greatest. That's probably what it is. And this is not like a professional production I'm doing here. So excuse for all the technical glitches that may occur. Hello, Heidi. Hello. Hello, Courtney. Courtney, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm not sure if it's Courtney Guy or Courtney Guy, because I know that in French it's Guy, in American it's Guy. So I hope I'm saying it whichever way. If I'm not saying it correctly, I apologize for that. So thank you so much for joining us. So let's clear the energy of the room. Hello, Jose. How are you? Good to be here. So there's still glitches. Okay. It must be something with my I have fiber actually, but I don't know why the fiber isn't working. Sorry about the glitches. I really apologize. I ask you to bear with me, and hopefully the glitches are not happening. Has discontinued, and the video is resuming. Sorry. Okay, so let's clear the energy of the room and let's go straight into the topic. So, just for like the highest level, thank you for removing any low frequency energy that does not serve the best interest of all that is in this sacred space. And thank you for allowing this session to go off without a hitch, to move through with flow, ease, and serenity and peace. And so it is. Namaste. Okay, Courtney. Oh, American guy. Okay, Courtney guy. Okay, thank you so much, Courtney. I love that. Thank you so much. I see. Yes, it's nay because you've got the that little accent above the E. So thank you so much for clearing that up because I'd like to address people the way they want to be addressed, and I think it's a sign of respect. So thank you so much. Okay, so I think we all go through periods where we feel like nothing is happening in our lives, right? Like it seems like it's dead silence and nothing seems to be manifesting, nothing seems to be moving forward. It's as if we live in a vacuum and like we feel lonely, we feel we've been abandoned, we feel that there's not even hope for the future because nothing is moving, nothing seems to be happening or moving forward, right? And yes, maybe on the physical plane that might be true, that in the physical, this time space reality, what we call life, that our soul comes into this physical plane, that might be true that yes, we're not meeting the people. Yes, maybe the money's not coming in. Yes, maybe we're not going to places. Yes, maybe those opportunities aren't actually coming in on this physical plane. And so we associate that with, just like nothing is happening in my life. Nothing is happening. And that could really be a time of when you start to go into some sense of depression. right? Sense of hopelessness, sense that nobody cares about me, sense that I'm alone, I'm abandoned, right? How many of us have gone through that? I think we all have gone through that, including me. No question about it. No question that we have all gone through the periods where nothing seems to be happening in our life. And so I want to tell you that when that period comes, and it comes for all of it, it's like an ebb and flow. It's part of the ebb and flow of life. It's part of the yin and yang. It's part of the yin energy of retreat. That universe and God is telling us and giving us a clear sign of some level of retreat. And during that level, it's telling us to create this energetic space to be able to be ready for the future. That is the significance of when nothing is happening in your life. It's to make energetic space so that you're preparing for things to come in for the future. You're getting ready. So, what often we do is, and this is the biggest mistake that I think we all make when we are in periods where nothing is happening, is we don't, go into more depression. We go into more feeling of that aloneness. We go into more that life is not fair. And that's the story we start telling ourselves because physically we're not seeing any manifestationally. So our thoughts are just reinforcing that life is not fair, that I'm alone, that, nobody cares about me, nothing is happening. And so as we reinforce these narratives, what happens? We get more depressed, more depressed, more depressed, right? So that's a very dangerous thing when that happens because as you keep telling that low frequency narrative and you keep saying over and over, oh, nothing's happening, life is not fair, I'm not good enough, you start telling all these low frequency narratives about yourself and about your life, you're creating a momentum of that the universal forces are just going to support that because the universe always meets you where you're at. The universe always meets you where you're at. So when you put out that narrative, then the universe keeps meeting you where you're at. But what the universal forces is really telling you that this is your greatest opportunity to prepare yourself to make and cleanse yourself energetically to make that space for what's going to come in for the future. So you basically have two choices here. You can use this time when nothing seemingly seems to happen, but energetically, everything's happening. Energetically, things are happening 24/7, 7 days a week. It's always happening. It's happening at the level of where you are at mentally, emotionally. So energetically, everything's happening. It's the physical manifestation that you're not seeing. And that's where you get tripped up is because you associate that the physical manifestation is what you need to see for you to feel that your life is moving forward. But as I've said in many, many videos, and I've probably said this as like a repeating record over and over again, that all physical manifestations comes out of energetic frequencies. It's all energetic. And so when nothing has happened in that physical realm, rather than giving yourself a narrative that it's, oh, nothing's happening in my life is not fair, I'm alone, my life is depressing, that's the time when the universe is really saying to you, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for that future prosperity to come in, for those cooperative components to come in, for that opportunity to come in, for that prosperity to come in, for that abundance to come in. And what it's really telling you is you need to make some energetic release and cleansing of your life. That's what you really need to do during this time. Because during this time, if you're holding on to all these energetic, low frequency things in your life, it doesn't matter. You're never going to be able to manifest it in the future because as you keep putting out the same frequency, the universe just keeps showing you the same thing over and over again, right? It's just it's just so what the universe is saying, pause. Pause and stop trying to take action that's not going to yield good results for you. But pause. I don't want anything to happen in your life right now because I want to give you the space and time to cleanse yourself energetically so that you can make that space for higher frequency opportunities to come in. That's what that really means. That's what it really means. It's that you're getting ready energetically by cleansing yourself energetically for the greatest opportunities to come into your life. And so, what do you want to be doing during this time? What are the things that you should be doing during this time? Because the universe is saying, pause. Don't try to make things happen right now. Don't try to make things happen because if you try to make things happen when you're in that low frequency state, low frequency opportunities are coming to you. So the same thing, you're seeing the same thing over and over again. Low frequency, lack of money, lack of relationships, lack of opportunities. It just keeps showing you. So the universe is saying the giving you a clear sign, a real sign that we're helping you to not have anything with this. Okay, I'm just going to continue. Okay, so let's just take a break because there was a technical glitch there. Let's just take a little break and see if anybody has any questions about what I've just said. Nigeri, I think I am experiencing that phase. Luckily, I am in a negative thinking. I am not in a negative thinking loop. Also, I am appreciative that at least I am not on the wrong path. Wow, I love that. Thank you, Najira, for saying that. Thank you for saying that you feel like there's nothing happening, seemingly nothing happening, but at least you're not a negative thinking loop. That's the secret. The secret is you're in this kind of this transitional pause phase. What do I do with that phase? Do I go into that negative thinking loop and create more of the same? Or do I start cleaning myself energetically? What are the beliefs? What are the thoughts that I've carried for the last 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, 5 years that no longer serve my life? What is those things that are embedded in my subconscious mind that are not moving my life forward? And therefore, I don't see any opportunities coming in and nothing seems to be happening. What are those things that can I do some deep healing, inner releasing of those belief systems that no longer serve me? That is the time to do it, is when nothing seems to be happening in your life. And this is a golden time period because the universe is literally trying to support you and say, pause, let go, and remove those low frequency energies so that you can make that energetic space for better opportunities to come in. You're preparing yourself energetically. That's the most important thing, is that the energy, I always say it's 99.999% energy and 0.0001% physical manifestation. So all of the work that you're doing to prepare for that physical manifestation is really in the energetic space. It's in the principles of energy that we've got to prepare ourselves. And so really 99.999% of the work that we do for that 0.0001% manifestation is really in the energetic work. So if you think about it, if you've blocked yourself energetically, if you've got all these things going on that you're telling yourself for 15, 20, 30 years or 5 years, 3 years, the last 3 years you've been saying, I'm poor, I'm poor, I'm poor. How are you going to start to attract more money when you keep telling yourself that? So the universe is saying, okay, nothing's going to happen in your life. We're going to pause it so that you can cleanse yourself of that limiting belief about yourself, that I'm poor, I'm poor, I'm poor. That's got to be cleansed. That's got to be removed, because that belief system is clogging up your energy. It's creating a clog. It's creating blocked. It's creating resistance. And therefore, if you keep on that path, you're going to continue to see the same thing over and over again. So that's why this time period, when nothing seems to be happening, is the universe's greatest signal is how can you make that inner transformation? How can you mentally, emotionally, and physically, with every cell in your body, move yourself up that energetic frequency ladder? And once you move up yourself in that ladder, things just come in. Things come in, things come in, things come in. And so you think that, oh, nothing is happening in my life. The story should be everything is happening in my life energetically. That's the point here, is that we've got to get ourselves in the right energetic space to be able to have that physical manifestation that we all are looking for. That's the key here. We've got to get ourselves in the energetic space before that physical manifestation come in. And so what the universe is saying is, this is a good time for you to get into that space so that you could prepare for what is to come, what is divinely yours. You know, I have a video about what is divinely yours, meaning that what is divinely yours is what is divinely yours is yours. It's just a matter of whether you can receive it, because nobody can have it except you. But it's rather whether you're open to receiving it or you're closed off to receiving it. So what you're doing is you're cleansing and removing those low frequency energies so that you can allow what is divinely yours to come in. Nobody can take that away from you. The only person that can take it away is you, is each one of us, because we shoot ourselves in the foot, because that is divinely yours. That is divinely yours. And everybody has something that is divinely theirs. It's all oranges and apples. It's grapes, it's apples, it's, you know, it's not the same thing. And the way you're going to receive it is never going to be the same as the way somebody else might receive what is divinely theirs. So you're really preparing yourself for what is divinely yours by removing those low frequency energies. That is so important. It's to cleanse yourself. How can I cleanse myself today? What can I say? One thing, taking, you know, and I have lots of meditations to clean yourself energetically. I have one that's called taking an energetic shower. You know, it's that we have to cleanse ourselves energetically. That's what we're doing during these times. And that is the opportune moment during the times when nothing seems to be happening in our life. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Okay, so Najira, thank you so much for being on the right path. And I'm deeply grateful for that feedback of what's happening in your life. So thank you for sharing. Jose Manuel, I am actually cleaning my house and getting rid of old and broken things right now. That is a very good thing. In feng shui, you clear things in your house to flow energy. It's not just energy is flowing constantly within us and around us, right? And so when you're cleaning your house and you're getting rid of broken things, you're cleaning your house energetically. And that's what feng shui is all about. It's flowing energy through physical objects. And so this is a great time to do that, Jose, because if you clean your environment, that could help clean your internal world, right? Think about it. People who are in hoarding situations, you know, have you ever seen a successful hoarding person? No, you've never. And that's because when your physical environment is a mess, your internal environment will be a mess. And you're blocking energetic flow to come into your life. So that's a beautiful thing you're doing, Jose, is to just clean and get rid of old and broken things. That's a beautiful step one, is to just physically clean the things out of your house. Courtney Guy says, I am cleaning and rearranging as well. Beautiful. Wonderful time to do that. Okay, Christy Rosario says, hi, Christy. Is the sound going out for everyone else? Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Uh, Okay, great. Um, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry that you guys are missing my message. I am so sorry about the technical stuff. You can hardly hear me. The audio is terrible, Moon. Sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Why is the audio so terrible? I feel horrible about this. Let me see if yeah, my microphone is hooked up to you guys. Is this hooked up? Yeah. It's all hooked up. Wow, I'm so sorry. I'm not the technical whiz. I'm so sorry about it. Okay. Courtney Gay. Yes to the energetic shower. Okay, Botanical Bro 888. At 58, I'm tempted to give up on living my dream life. Okay, Botanical Bro 888. Is that okay? You're 58. I'm in my 50s. I'm in your generation. And one of the things that I think one of the things that what we do is we have these, the reason why we get into that mode of, you know what, I'm too old and it's not going to happen anymore for me, is because we have expectations of the way the life should look like. And when our life doesn't match those expectations, we create resistant energy. And so the secret to manifestation really is that you have a vision and you let it go and you go through the journey of life and you're not so attached to that final destination. That's really the greatest secret to manifesting, is not to be attached to the destination, because it's only about the journey. And so the reason why we 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 create we create a lack of that manifestational ability is because we have so many expectations and attachments to things that are really outside of us, and that creates what they call suffering and pain. And that's the premise of Buddhism, is that when we attach ourselves to form, whether it's people or money or house or material things, that attachment creates a certain expectation. And when that expectation is not met, we create suffering and pain. And so when you see people who really know how to manifest, is that they've been able to let go of that destination. You might have a vision, but you let it go and you go on a journey of where the chips may fall. And every time in your life there's a pivot of this way, or a pivot of this way, or pivot of this way that you didn't expect, what you do is you see, that's part of my journey, and how can I make this pivot constructive? How can I optimize it? How can I make it in a way that really allows me to be on the journey of expansion and growth, because there's no destination. And it's that expectation that we have of this attachment that creates a lot of suffering and pain. So once you let that expectation, you remove that and release that of that final destination, there is no final destination, first of all, because you are an eternal being of eternal growth and expansion. It's only about the journey. And so when we have a vision and we let it go and we say, okay, I'm committed to the journey, that's when we start to become really powerful manifestors. Why? Because we create no resistant energy. We create free flowing energy. And that's what is part of the manifestational process, is to create flow, 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 flow. And those expectations and those attachments that we have are blocking the flow. And so as we keep blocking and blocking it, the universe, because it's inclusive, it's never exclusive, it keeps showing the same thing over and over again. And then, after 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, we see the same thing. We just lose all hope, right? And that's what happened. There are people that I have met where they have literally in their 80s have made all of their money. I mean, literally, I've met people who found like incredible success. Does that mean, and you'll say, oh, Moon, I may not live to 80s. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is it's because they've never given up on themselves. And so it came to a point where they kind of removed that resistant energy and things just came in. Because once you remove that resistant energy, it comes in like that. Things happen immediately, like immediately. It's because there's something in the subconscious, the deeper mind, that is creating resistance, that's creating a block. And that deeper mind might be saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough to have it. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. So there is a narrative that's running in that deeper mind, even though consciously you might want to make a change, subconsciously that change isn't happening. And we really operate, I would say 95% really subconsciously. So think about how powerful that subconscious narrative is. That's it keeps putting out the same energetic frequency, and so the universe meets you where you're at, and that's what's going on there. Hi, okay. Hi, Maria. Yes, to the energetic shower. Yes, Courtney. Please use that resources. Okay. Maria says, I'm in the clearing energy as well. What do you feel about burning, uncrossing candles? What do you mean by uncrossing candles? I have used burning candles to burn things, to remove energies in my life. So I have used candles, but I'm not sure what you mean by uncrossing candles. Candles that do not cross. I thought all candles go like this. I'm not sure. Would you kindly clarify, Maria? I have used candles for burning, to let go of energies that do not serve me. So I have used, but uncrossing, I'm not sure what that means. So if you could let me know, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, great. Courtney says the sound is better right now. Oh, okay. Thank you, Botanical Bro 888, for giving me that technical glitch. Okay, Maria says you can hear just fine. Great. Okay. Is a great step to clear energy from our houses. Yes. Christy, it's better for me now. Great. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, wonderful. Um, oh, there's a candle called Uncrossing that removes negative energy. Okay, that's interesting. I wish I'd see the pic. You know what? I have to look this up because I didn't realize that there's a candle called Uncrossing. What does the candle visually look like? I should look this up. I'm gonna research it and see what uncrossing means. Would you be able to describe what this uncrossing candle looks like? I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Christy Rosaro says, do you have any opinion on plant medicine ayahuasca? Okay, yes, I do. I do. There are a lot of people who have done ayahuasca. My thing with ayahuasca in any plant is that, if you are going to do it, make sure you do it really responsibly. Like make sure you have people around you that know what they're doing and that you can totally trust 1,000%. I am not necessarily for or against anything. I think everything has its time and place, but my thing is this, if you're going to do it, make sure you surround yourself with people who know what they're doing. Who know. There's a woman here that what is her name? Oh, her name is Katie, and she does this all the time. This is what she does professionally. She literally takes people and do these things, but I'm not for or against it. I think that if you do it, you've got to do it with somebody who knows what they're doing. And you got to be surrounded by people who really support you and care about you, that, who's there for you no matter what. That's really important. And people who know what they're doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't even entertain something like that because it's important that you're in a really safe place. I think the purpose of ayahuasca is to transcend this consciousness to a higher consciousness, right? So they would use it in the forests of Amazon so that they would be able to see things in the Amazon, the native people in the Amazon, right? So to be able to protect themselves. That's what ayahuasca would, to be able to see what's going on that side of the Amazon, what's going on. It's a way of safety and protection because when you're out in the Amazon, there's a lot of dangerous things. So it's a way to see things in the Amazon, which is filled with beauty, yet there's also danger. And so they want to be able to see things. And so it was used to, be able to, crunch time and space and be able to see things clearly so that the people there can survive there. That's what ayahuasca is really used for. So it is a tool to transcend to a higher consciousness. However, if it's not used correctly or not used in a way that's managed correctly, it may not be good. It may not be good. And there's been a lots of clinical studies now that they've done with, psychedelics and how some of the psychedelics it's helped some of the PTSD people. And so, but it's got to be done responsibly. And the people in the Amazon that do ayahuasca, they've been doing it for so long, generations of generations. So think about how they know how to use it. They know how to manage that. They know what they're doing, right? Because they've been doing it for so long from generation to generation. For people who've never done it, have never been, doesn't haven't grown up with that kind of stuff, it could be dangerous. So it's gotta be done in a way that's responsible. It's gotta be with a lot of highest level of responsibility here. Okay. So that's what I would say. I'm never against or for anything. I think that everything has its place. I'm all about the yin and yang balance. It's always about the yin and yang balance. Can't go too extreme. You can't go too extreme in one direction. And if you do, they could have consequences. It's all about being mindful of what you do. That's really important and creating balance. Okay. I would say if the uncrossing helps you remove negative energy, then use it. If it helps you to remove that low frequency energy, then use the candle. But I've never heard about it, so I want to research it and see. Anything that could help you remove that low frequency negative energy, that's really important. What is it that can help you remove it? Is it meditation? Is it sage? Is it crystals? What is it that can help you remove that? Okay. Does mantras, breathing exercise, and mention help with clearing negative energy, spiritual? Yes, it does. Absolutely. Om. And there's lots of mantras, especially some of the beautiful Sanskrit mantras. Om. Just that word, it just dispels. It go om, and that also dispels. So yes, mantras, breathing exercises, that those things help. But you want to, use mantras that really that connect with the universal forces. Om is there's Om Padme. There's several different mantras that you could use, and those things all help to dispel those things and connect you to the divine, connect you to a higher consciousness level. It's a glass candle light purple. Okay. I think that one of the things about objects is the physical object, if you clean that object energy, I always make sure that when I use an object, that I clean it energetically. So even if it's a regular candle, I make sure that, I use, I might put a bell on it, bing, ding, ding, to clear it, to clear the energy of that candle. So whatever that object is, if you're using it to clear negative energy, make sure you cleanse it, cleanse that object. That's important because you don't want that object to have absorbed any low frequency energy that could mess with the low frequency energetic removal. So clear it. Some people use sage, some people use bell, ding, ding, ding around it to clear it. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Maria. Removes bad luck. Okay, thank you. I will look it up. Thank you so much. Okay, okay, Najir. Hey, Crystal, please do a lot of research before doing plant medicine so you don't invite unintended energies. Yeah, I agree. I think that you really want to do research and you want to make sure that you're doing with the right people, people who have really good intentions and people that will support you, that you're surrounded by real love and people who will support you during that time. That's really important. You want to make sure that you're doing it with the right people. That's the key here. Do you know if you're gonna think about doing and do the research. Sachit Ananda. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Hi, Minna Man. How are you? So very important. Agree, Moon. I agree. Thank you, Heidi. We always agree. You know, we're just like two peas in a pod, aren't we, Heidi? My God. Uh, I love salt showers too. Yes, salt showers are good because they also dispel, you know, you're removing, low frequency things. It's kind of being absorbed from your skin out of your skin, right? It's like pulling those things out. So salt baths are good. I think salt baths are good because it's like pulling things out. Hi, Nicole Williams. Hi, Moon. Coming on late, but love this topic. I have wanted to give up so many times on my dreams, but something inside me keeps me going. Nicole, thank you so much. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. I am so happy to hear that. That gives me so much hope. It fills my heart. You made my day. You made my week. You made my year just saying that. If I could empower one person to not give up on themselves ever, that is such a, and you know what? The fact that you said that, my God, what signal are you giving out to the universe? That you've said, I'm not giving up. I wanted to, but I'm not giving up. What signal are you giving to the universe when you say that? I'm committed to myself and I am going to have some bad days. That's the nature of life. That's the ebb and flow. That's the yin and yang. But I'm always still going to get back up on the saddle. So the fact that you said that and keep saying that every day, say, I'm not giving up on myself. I am good enough. I am worthy. I am unconditional lovable. I'll never give up on myself. Yes, I have bad days, but while I have those days, I know I'm never going to give up on myself. Please keep reminding yourself of that. Say that because you are an infinite being of infinite possibilities. That's the true nature of each one of you. And I don't, what I realize is that people don't understand how powerful you really are. You don't even understand how powerful you really are. Because what we do is the society imposes so much limitations on us, so much limitations that we eventually get programmed into thinking that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not this, we're not that. That's just the myth. That's just the ego mind trying to speak to you, but that's not really connecting with your higher self, the nature of who you really are. The nature of who you are is an internal being of infinite possibilities. So even when this body goes, you're going to continue to expand and grow. That is the nature. That is the true nature of your being. There is no end. There's only ever the journey. There's never the destination. So you can't even give up on yourself. Your soul is telling you, don't give up on yourself. Your ego mind is telling you, give up on yourself. But your soul is saying the exact opposite. Do not give up on yourself. That is what your soul, and that soul, you're speaking to that part of you. That is the part of you that you're speaking, that is speaking, Nicole Williams, that the reason why you haven't given up on yourself is because there's that whisper of the soul. The soul whispers. The ego mind is loud. You know how sometimes you go in a classroom and there's the loudest student and they have nothing to say, they have no wisdom, they have no knowledge. But then you see somebody else in the room that's really quiet, that whispers, that has the knowledge, that has the wisdom. The soul has that wisdom, has that knowledge. And it's the whisper of the soul that's telling you, Do not give up. Do not give up on yourself. You are an eternal being of eternal creation, innovation, and expansion. The ego mind is what's messing with us. It's always messing with us. The ego mind is constantly messing with us. The ego mind loves fear. The ego mind loves attachment. The ego mind loves form. The ego mind is what creates a lot of problems for ourselves. The ego mind is telling you you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough. It's this ego mind. It's here that's messing us up. But the soul, which is absolute truth, absolutely eternal, absolutely unconditional love, the soul is everything. It's telling you, don't give up on yourself. So, what I would say, Nicole, is allow that soul to speak louder and louder in your life. Try to drown out that ego mind. And the ego mind has its purpose. Don't get me wrong. When you're trying to build, let's say, an airplane, there's the ego mind has a rational thinking process, and we need that. We need the ego mind, the rational process to do things on this physical plane. When we design a building or we design an airplane, those rational thinking comes into play. But the soul is the thing that comes first before that rational thinking. So do things that allow your soul to speak louder and louder and drown out that ego mind more and more, and use the ego mind when you need to be more rational. When you have a problem at hand, maybe, there's an actual, you're designing something, right? And there's physics involved, right? In designing, like when people try to put spaceships up to the moon, you need real engineering, right? Physics, engineering. And that's when the rational mind can come in. But the soul will always speak which direction you're going to go, who you really are. And that's the part that you want to make up more louder. Because I think the rational mind has taken over the soul. And as it takes over the soul more and more, it's drowning the soul. And so that's when you want to give up. That's when you have lack of hope. That's when you have lack of faith. That's when you have lack of lack of motivation. Is when that ego mind keeps talking and it's so loud that the soul is being drowned. But the reason why you haven't given up on yourself, Nicole, is that there's a deepest part of you, that eternal part of you is saying you're good enough, you're worthy, you're lovable, you're smart, you're gifted. Okay, so thank you, Nicole, for not giving up. You made my year by saying that. I am so happy. Oh, oh yes, Heidi, we are soul sisters. I agree. The transitionary mind. Thank you for joining. What are some simple, basic spiritual tools to buy? You mentioned the bell, but I see some people use a whole array of things: singing bowls, frequency machines, etc. Right. This is what I would say, the transitioner mind. And I'm so glad that you're dedicated to the process of change. So I commend you for that. What it is that keep it very simple at first. You don't need a lot of gadgets to change your mind or to change yourself energetically. That's what we're talking about, to to put yourself up to a higher energetic frequency. The most important tool is your mind. That's the most important tool above everything, above the above the Tibetan singing bowl, above the crystals, above the bells, above the mind is the most important thing. And so what I would say is have an awareness, be very conscious of what your thoughts are. That's number one. You have to master the mind first. You've got to master the mind first. Because no matter what you do, is if you're not mastering that mind, you could clear, with some bells, some negative energy, but it'll come back or it wouldn't be really removed. Have an awareness of your thoughts. That I would practice. And the best way to train yourself to have an awareness of your thoughts and be a third eye witness, observer of those thoughts is through meditation. Now, does it mean that you have to sit like this and say that that's meditation? No, meditation means being fully present in the now, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past. It's being fully present. So what are the things that you could be fully present right now? So when you're taking the shower, you could be meditating. If you're fully present with the shower, you're meditating. If you're thinking, oh my God, how much I love how this warm water falls and touches my body and cleanses my body, and having that gratefulness, that appreciation for that water just dripping down your body, that's meditation. So, what can you do to train yourself to be in that meditative space? Rather than having a lot of objects, and I have a meditation room, literally, and I have, my God, I have probably eight, Tibetan singing bowls. I probably have crystals all over. I have statues of the Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesha. I mean, it's a meditation room. And that's where I go to come home to my soul. But you don't need all that. That's all secondary. Be aware of your thoughts first, and just do simple meditation is to just observe your thoughts. And whatever thoughts come in, just observe it like a third eye witness and then let it go. Another thought comes in, observe it and then let it go. And then after the meditation, if there are things that you've noticed about your thoughts, like thoughts that no longer serve you, thoughts like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't get that job, or thoughts that do not honor and support you, write it down. And you could write it down and say, I release this thought, I release this energy that I am not worthy. And then you could burn it with fire, or you could even take it to the ocean and you could just let it go in the ocean. Put that paper with that, what you want to let go of, and let it flow with the ocean. So the first thing is, before going out and investing in all these tools, have an awareness of your thoughts. What are you saying to yourself that does not honor you as a spiritual being, eternal being of infinite possibilities? And that's what you have to start to remove. If you have that awareness, you're already 50% there. Then the other 50% is to practice to let it go. Let it go without judgment. So when you observe it, you're just letting it go you're not saying it's good nor bad. You're just letting it go. And then that other thought comes in, you're like, oh, I've noticed it. I'm letting it go. That's a practice. So I would say the first thing is to have an awareness of your thoughts, of your mind. This is it. This is the most powerful thing that there ever is. And then once you start to master that, then you can start to bring in maybe one bell, or a candle. But you don't need to start that way. Start with having awareness of your thoughts. That's the most powerful thing. Okay. So thank you for that question. That's a really good question. Margaret asks, how long is it too long to be stagnant? I feel like I've sat with things for so long and did the work, but feels like I am missing something. How do I get clarity? Yes, that's a great question. How long is it? You're saying, Moon, I haven't seen something happen in 10 years, right? Nothing has happened to me. I wanted to make money, and for the last 10 years, I haven't made money. That's a sign that you are really that deeper mind, the subconscious mind. This is where Dr. Joe Dispenza I've always looked to him for this. He always says, you've got to be so committed to change. You've got to be so committed to change, because change is not easy. When you have formed a habit, every cell in your body has a habit, right? You're going to default to that. You want to default to that, like default, default, default. So that's when it gets really hard to change, right? So that's why people for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years are like, nothing has happened. I've never made money. Why for 10, 20, 30 years I've been living the same life? It's because the deepest mind, that subconscious level, is still holding on to things that do not serve you. So it's really literally about, how can I make a commitment that I want to really change? It's like a deep commitment. And this is what Dr. Joe talks about. I don't know if you guys know Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks about this. It is that deep, unwavering commitment to yourself that you're going to make that inner change. That whatever it takes, whatever you need to do. And so there's things that you're always trying to. And so one of the things that I use a lot is the Ho'oponopono meditation and mantra. So I have two videos. I have a video about what Ho'oponopono is, and then I have a meditation, a Ho'oponopono meditation. Ho'oponopono, the concept is you're constantly cleaning out low frequency things, energetic. You're constantly cleaning, 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 cleaning. So you're not attracting those things. And so what it is it's the deepest commitment to yourself for that deepest inner change and transformation. And so, and that's not easy, right? That's why I always say that this is what I always say. I say, I think energy healers, people who, the greatest energy healers are people who show up energetically clean. And do you know how hard it is to show up energetically clean? It is I think I always say it's much harder than being a Western doctor. And Western doctor, you go through how many years of medical school, internship, right? Before you really can become a decent doctor. You might have to go through 10 years before you really start to become a good doctor. When I see an energy healer, it's very obvious which energy healers come in energetically clean and which ones don't. And to come energetically clean is so hard. It's almost as if it's so hard. It's a practice. Every day you're practicing to clean yourself energy. And so Ho'oponopono, there's a mantra, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, is to constantly clean yourself energetically. And it feels so trite. It feels so, it feels so trite, redundant over and over and over and over again. But that's the commitment that it takes, Margaret. So why don't you take some time to say, am I really committed to this? Yes, I'm sure you've done work, and I commend you for doing work that you've done thus far. But the work it has to be more deeper. It has to be more deeper. It has to be honest and authentic about what are some of the things that you're still holding on to that does not serve you, that does not honor you. Because I guarantee I'm still holding on to things. I'm always trying to cleanse myself. And, there are times when I get tired. I'm like, I'm tired of this Ho'oponopono. I'm tired of cleaning myself, because it's like it never ends. The cleansing never ends. And so sometimes I just get tired myself, trust me. And so there are days when I just need a break. And I've taken those breaks. But it's a lifelong journey because you are an eternal being of expansion. There is no destination. There's only ever the journey. That's all there ever is. The journey is always about doing something to expand and grow. So the work never stops. So the practice never stops. The cleansing never stops. Have you met any person on this planet that is pure light of God? I haven't met anybody. That means we are all still holding on to things. We're doing the work and I haven't met anybody that is pure, like 100% pure light in their energetic space. I still haven't met anybody. Does it mean that some people that I've met, they're further along? Absolutely, they're further along. But I have not met anybody that is just pure light energetically. That's why the work is every single day. So one of the energy healers that I met, she's amazing. She's retired. She's out in Colorado. And she's been practicing energy healing for 50 years. And she told me, she says, Moon, the first thing for an energy healer is they got to show up clean. If they don't show up clean, that session is no good. And she spent so many years working on herself. She's been doing for 50 years. So she was teaching other energy healers clean. The first thing is to clean yourself. You have to show up clean. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to show up a little bit cleaner each day, a little bit cleaner each day, a little bit cleaner each day. And so it means that the work has to be deeper and has to be deeper, the work, Margaret. Okay. Thank you for that beautiful question. Thank you so much. What a great question. Okay, let's see who else has a question or comment. Nicole says, I'm glad my soul hasn't given up on me. The human experience is not easy. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. This is what I would say. Now, you said that the human experience is not easy. How can you rephrase that a little bit better, Nicole, to make it 3% better, 2% better? How can you rephrase that human experience? It might be better to say the human experiences has challenges for my soul's expansion and growth. Does that feel 2% better? 3%? How can you make it to make it feel better? The human experiences has challenges for my expansion and growth, right? So how can we turn that and make it a little bit? Languaging is the essence. The languaging is the essence of our thoughts, of our mind. How can we make it so that it could be less resistant? The human experience is not easy, sounds a little resistant. It sounds, how can you make it less resistant? The human experience challenges is for my expansion and growth. If you word it that way, think about just making that little pivot, that little change, how much that frees up more energy, makes that flow come in. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for flow. So when we say things are difficult, hard, we're not creating flow. We're creating resistance. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, Nicole, but you know, the fact that you're not giving up on yourself, your soul is not giving up on you, that is one of the most heartwarming thing I have ever heard. So thank you so much for staying on this journey. Thank you so much. Courtney says, right now I feel anxiety and what for? I'm doing things to propel myself. It wants me to stay where I am. You know, sometimes anxiety is your way of and anxiety could mean many different things. Sometimes anxiety is not a good thing. Sometimes anxiety is a transformational. When you're going from low frequency to higher frequency, that transition creates some level of chaos because you're not used to that. You're not, it's like, you know, when you meet something for the first time or experience for some first time, it can feel a little traumatic. If it could feel disconcerting. And so part of that could be anxiety. When you're going from a certain frequency to another frequency and you're leveling up because you've never felt that feeling before, that transition creates anxiety because it's like it's unfamiliar. The experience is unfamiliar. So remember that be patient with yourself. It could feel unfamiliar, and that's why you're going through a transitional. It's a sign of transition. Now, there's anxiety that is not a sign of transition. That's not a sign of transition. It's that this person is really in a bad space, in a very low frequency space. But know that also when you go through transitions, there's going to be anxiety because you've never experienced that higher frequency before. So that transition, there's going to be a feeling of some chaos, right? So be aware of that, Courtney. And I love your little E at the end. Thank you so much. Um, Clear and then clarity comes for me when I'm in nature. Hug a tree is so grounding. Yes, I agree. Hug a tree. Walk on grass with a bare foot. Nature is the greatest way to come home to your soul and be in the power of now. Why? Because nature is infinite wisdom, infinite love. And nature only ever lives in the power of now. Does the ocean ever live in the future or the past? No. Does this tree ever live in the future or the past? No. Does the forest ever complain about things or think about the past or the future? No. The presence, the nature is always present in the now. And so when you interact with nature, it forces you, it influences you to be present in the now. And when you are more present in the now, you are more connected to the soul, your higher self. That's why nature is the most powerful thing that there ever is. And it could also be animals. I know when I'm with my baby Happy, who passed away over a month ago, and I'm so sad about it, devastated. He always made me feel so like, I just love him so much because animals are just pure. They're unconditional. They give you unconditional love, right? They always live in the presence of now. So, nature, whether it's the forest, the ocean, the mountains, our animals are the most precious things that there ever is. So, when I see animal abuse, it is so hard for me. It is so hard to see animal abuse. I can't even look at that. I can't. I break down when I see that. Okay. Um, okay. So thank you. So Courtney says, I need to get back to hugging my tree. My bonus children named Barkley. I also have been wanting to start gardening my vertical planter while I, great, Courtney. Great. Go back. Yes. Come home to your soul through nature. And your bonus children named Barkley. Oh, what a beautiful name. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Tina G says, this found me at the perfect time. I always say your spirit guides are always supporting you, right? So they always connect you, they're always guiding you to a certain message just at the right timing that we all need it. You don't know how many times when I put out the intention, I say, Spirit, please show me the way in this situation. And just at the divine timing when I needed it, something comes in. And so one of the things is just to pay attention to what the universe is showing, what your spirit guides are showing you. Pay attention to life. Yes, gardening is so grounding. I absolutely agree. Jose Manuel says, I have found that practicing gratitude is a great way to keep you grounded and present in the moment while consciously thinking about all the positive things in your life. Absolutely. That's the first thing I go to. If I start, complaining, I start seeing, oh, I'm complaining a little too much. I said, pause, pause. And then I list at least three things that I could be grateful for. Three things right now, right here, right now. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for food. Like even three things so that I'm not on the complaining runaway train. Because when you're on the complaining runaway train and that train starts to take speed, you've created a momentum that's harder to pull back. My mom was being creative with adding the cute accent. Yes. What a beautiful mom you have. Okay. Heidi says, I just can't even fathom animal abuse. I literally mentally shut down too. Yes, I agree, Heidi. I agree. Thank you so much, all, for joining me in the session. It's past the hour. It's 1:04. Usually I'm within an hour, but I didn't have usually I have a call, like a Zoom meeting, so I usually make it an hour, but today I didn't have a Zoom meeting at the top of the hour, so I was able to go on for a little bit longer. Okay, so let's just recap about the situation when nothing is happening. When nothing is happening in your life, the universe is signaling to you in a powerful way that you could make a great transition, that you're readying yourself for the opportunity to come in. So this is the time when nothing is happening is to do that energetic cleaning. What are those things that I am holding on to that does not serve me? Because those things that you're holding on to that does not serve you is creating that energetic block. It's creating a clog in the flow. And so if you keep holding on to that clog, those low frequency energies, you can't receive those opportunities. You just can't receive it because you've clogged yourself. So when things are not happening, that is the best time. The universe is saying this is the best time to cleanse yourself of those things and make that energetic space. So it's giving you the time and space to do that so that you can cleanse and remove those low frequency energies and make that energetic space for for better things to come in. And so when we say things are not happening in my life, things are always happening energetically to you. Always. They're always happening. So physical manifestation follows energetic broadcast. What is happening? Where is your energetic state? And so as you clean and make that energetic space, you're preparing for the future for that to come in. Okay? So that is the synopsis of today's live session. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's do a closing prayer. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space on the topic of the significance of when things are not happening. I ask you to please guide all of these beautiful souls to have the ability so that they could cleanse their energetic space, so that they can make that space for abundance, prosperity, and opportunities to manifest and express their highest potential of who they really are. So thank you for your continued guidance, your continued wisdoms, your continued messages, and continue to remove any low frequency energies that do not serve our highest and best good. And we are so deeply, deeply, deeply grateful for always